Hello, everyone, and welcome to Storytime at the Ann Arbor District Library. My name is Christopher, and I'm so glad to have you with me today. Now, lots of you know how I like to begin Storytime with a little clapping song called Clap Everybody and Say Hello, and it goes like this. Clap everybody and say hello, say hello, say hello. Clap everybody and say hello. Welcome to Story Time. I think you've got it. Now, if you could clap along while I play that on the banjo, that would be wonderful and it'd be a big help to me. Let's give it a try. Clap everybody and say hello, say hello, say hello. Clap everybody and say hello. Welcome to Story Time. Good job. You know I like to say hello in lots of other languages around the world. Let's say hello in Mandarin. Ni hao. Clap everybody and say ni hao, say ni hao, say ni hao. Clap everybody and say ni hao. Welcome to Story Time. How about if we say hello in Basque? Kaisho. Clap everybody and say kaisho, say kaisho, say kaisho. Clap everybody and say kaisho. Welcome to Story Time. I think we've got time for one more. Let's say hello in Swahili. Habari. Clap everybody and say habari, say habari, say habari. Clap everybody and say habari. Welcome to Story Time. Very good. Welcome everyone to Story Time. I think we're going to have a great time today. But before we begin, you know I've got some very important announcements. Every Saturday, it's the Saturday Show, and we're starting Season 2 very soon. The Saturday Show has so many of your favorite storytellers and AADL staff members, and we're doing what we do best, which is deliver the fun. So tune in for that. Also on AADL.TV, it's the Baby Show. No, it's not called the Baby Show. It's called Baby Time. And it's for our littlest patrons, age 0 to 2. And they're grown-ups. Let's invite them as well. So you should tune in to both of those. I think you'll love them. It would be kind of fun if we do a one-off called The Baby Show. I like that. I'll see what the library says about that. But now, on with our show! Well, we've got some great stories today, and I think we should find out what they're all about, don't you? I also think it's time to take off this hat. Let's see what we've got. Oh, well, we've got something up here. What? No, wait, no. Oh, I had it right the first time. Oh, letter F. We've got lots of stories today that all have something to do with a word that starts with the letter F. Now, do you know any words that start with F? Do I know any words that start with F? Well, there is fava beans. Fava beans are delicious and they make a wonderful salad. What other words start with F? Can you think of any animals? Let's see. There is a ferret. A ferret is a cute animal that starts with F. And, oh, I know another word that starts with F. Flax. Flax is a beautiful plant and you can do so many different things with it. But you know, we don't have any stories today about flax or ferrets or fava beans, but that would make a great story. We do have stories today all about food, and I can't wait to tell you. I might be even hungry by the time this is over. All right, but before we get into our stories, I think we need to get some energy out and some blood pumping with you-know-who, Oh, Duke of York! And here he is. Oh, the grand old Duke of York. He had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up or down. Do you think we can pick up the pace a little bit? I'll bet we can. Let's give it a try. Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up or down. The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up or down. Super fast! The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up or down. Good job. Do you think we could have gone even faster? Something tells me we could have. We'll try that next time. And now, it's time for our first story. Now, this story is all about someone who lived in the jungle. And, oh dear, look who's here. Anansi, you know, I'm right in the middle of story time. Can this wait? Are you sure? Because I'd really like to get on with story time. Okay, Anansi. Well, Anansi really wants me to tell a story that includes him. So I guess we will. All right, Anansi, do you want to go back up or down? Up it is? Okay. All right. Can you make it, or do you need some help? Okay, Anansi, you watch from up there, okay? Now, this first story is all about Anansi. It's Anansi and the Talking Melon. Now, we know a couple things about Anansi, don't we? First, he's a lazy rascal. Second, he loves playing pranks on the other animals. And that's just what Anansi did. One day, a hot, hot day when the sun was high in the sky, Elephant was out in his garden, in the melon patch, and he was looking at his work, and he was so happy. His melons were growing amazingly. And he decided it's just about time for a break. So Elephant went back to his house to get some lemonade. Anansi thought, now's my chance. And Anansi came down out of his tree, and he found the biggest, ripest, juiciest melon that he could. With the help of a little thorn, he poked his way inside the melon, and Anansi was in heaven. All that ripe, juicy melon was just for him, and he ate his fill. Well, after Anansi had hollowed out the inside of that melon, he was stuffed, much too big to get out of the hole that he had made to get inside. So he lay down to take a nap. By and by, Elephant came back to his garden and thought, maybe it's time that I had a slice of melon. And he went over to the very melon that Anansi was inside, and he went to pick it up, and Anansi yelled, ouch! To trick the elephant. And Elephant jumped back and said, huh? A talking melon? And Anansi said, sure we can talk. We always talk, you just don't listen. Anansi thought, I've got Elephant now. He thinks that melons can talk. And Elephant said, A talking melon. Why, I've never heard of such a thing, and I'll bet the king of the animals hasn't heard of anything like this either. I'll take the melon to the king." And the elephant picked up the melon and set off down the road. Well, by and by, Elephant came to a hippo. And Elephant said, hey, hippo, do you know where I'm going? I'm going to see the king. I'm going to take the king my talking melon. And Hippo said, "Oh, right, a melon that talks. That's ridiculous. Nobody's ever heard of such a thing. Why, a talking melon is about as silly as..." And from inside the melon, Anansi yelled, "A skinny hippo!" And the hippo jumped back and said, "Who said that?" And the elephant said, "See, I told you that the melon could talk." Well, Hippo was a believer. And now Elephant and Hippo and Anansi inside the melon all went down the road to get to the king. On their way, they ran into Warthog. And they said, "Hey, Warthog, we're going to see the king. We've got a talking melon." And Warthog said, "Oh, boy, you're full of beans. A talking melon. Why, nobody's ever heard of such a thing. That's as silly as..." And from inside the melon, Anansi yelled, "A handsome warthog!" And the warthog jumped back and said, "Who said that?" And Elephant said, "See, do you believe us now? The melon talks." And they went on their way to see the king. Well, they kept meeting more and more animals. And now they had a huge entourage, and they got to the king's palace, and they said, "Hey, king of the animals, check out this that we've brought you." And the king said, "Oh, a melon. I've got a lot of melons. What's the big deal? You're wasting my time." And the elephant said, No, really, this one talks." And the king said, "Huh? A talking melon? I think you're tricking me. If this melon can talk, let's hear it. Melon, talk!" And the elephant said, No, really, it talks." And the king yelled again, "Melon, if you can talk, I want you to say something." And Anansi was silent. Finally, the king started to lose his temper and said, "Melon, if you can talk, you better say something soon." And the king got mad and he said, "This is as ridiculous as..." And Anansi yelled from inside the melon, "A king that talks to a melon!" And the king got so mad, he picked the melon up and he kicked it through the air, and it landed back in Elephant's melon patch. Well, Elephant was pretty embarrassed in front of the king and all the other animals, and he trod slowly back home. When he got to his melon patch, he said, "I'm never going to talk to you melons again. That was so embarrassing." And by now, Anansi had crawled up into the bananas and was hiding out there. And Anansi said, "Yeah, don't you know melons are just full of mischief? You better listen to us bananas in the future." Well, that's the end of the story of Anansi and the Talking Melon. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I think it's just about time to get some more energy out. I think we're missing someone, don't you? Yeah, someone maybe named Ralph, who's a goat, who likes to nibble. I think we better call him. "Oh, Ralph! Oh, Ralph! Hey! Oh, there he is!" Well, Ralph, are you ready to do some jumping and some dancing and maybe some sleeping. Oh, you don't sleep, do you? No, you like to nibble. All right, well, let's get started. Oh, dance any way you want to, dance any way you please, dance any way you want to, but stop when I say freeze. Good stopping. Oh, hop any way you want to, hop any way you please, hop any way you want to, but stop when I say freeze. Good stopping. Oh, swim any way you want to, swim any way you please, swim any way you want to, but stop when I say freeze. Now don't sink on me. You can float, right? Yeah. Oh boy, Ralph, all that swimming and dancing and hopping has kind of tired me out. You ready for a little nap? A nap, I said, not nibbling. But you're going to nibble anyway, aren't you? Okay. Well, sleep any way you want to, Ralph. Sleep any way you please. Sleep any way you want to. Sleeping time. But stop when I say freeze. Oh, that noise woke us up. All right, we'll see you next time, Ralph, okay? Yeah. All right. Take care, buddy. Well, we've got time for one more story today. I think you'll enjoy it. It's an old book called Old Macdonald Had an Apartment House, and it is indeed all about food. Old Macdonald Had an Apartment House, written by Judith Barrett and illustrated by Ron Barrett. Old Macdonald lived in a big apartment house with his wife and their dog. He didn't own the building. Mr. Rental did. Old Macdonald was its super. He polished the brass doorknobs when they got smudgy, mopped up the hallways when they got dirty, and sent up steam when it got cold. Old Macdonald's apartment was on the bottom floor and was very dark. The windows were covered by a thick, bushy hedge that grew in the front yard. Without sunlight, his wife's tomato plant grew pale and droopy. So old Macdonald decided to cut down the hedge in front of the windows. With all the sunlight that came in, the plant straightened up, grew a few leaves, and even grew a few tomatoes. But the spot where the hedge had been looked very empty. So old Macdonald's wife suggested that they fill it with her tomato plant. And they did. It grew lots of new leaves, many more tomatoes, and much, much taller. Why not get rid of all the rest of the hedge, old Macdonald said. Then I could plant vegetables in the yard. So he cut the whole hedge down, and in its place he planted rows of corn and melons and beans and radishes. The fountain became a self-watering pea patch. All the tenants were amazed. One of the tenants, Mrs. Katz, really didn't need 4 rooms anymore. Her children were grown up, so she moved out. Old Macdonald then had an empty apartment and thought it'd be a great place to grow lots more vegetables. He moved in some soil and redecorated in late vegetarian style. A variety of vegetables, a field of clover, and a cow moved in. No one knew what Old Macdonald was doing, but you can't keep a cow a secret for very long. More and more people moved out, very disgusted with what was happening. So more vegetables, fruit trees, cows, and chickens took their place. Finally, every tenant in the building had moved out. The apartment house became a 4-story farm. Then one day, Mr. Rental, the owner, stopped by to check on the house and collect the rent, as he did every few months. When he saw that his tenants had been replaced by vegetables, trees, cows, and chickens, he got upset. Very upset. "Look here, Old Macdonald, what have you done? Where are the families? All that's here now are bushels of fruits and vegetables, herds of cows and chickens. They can't pay me rent." Macdonald and his wife were very sad. They knew they would have to leave. Mr. Rental told them so. In fact, he was going to have the whole farm thrown out into the street. He told his wife not to cry near her tomato plant because the salt water wouldn't be good for it. Besides, it set a bad example for the cows. Mr. Rental paced back and forth quickly in front of his house. He did not like the idea of throwing the farm into the street. Macdonald had been a good super. Now, not only was he without tenants, but he'd be without a super too. "Who ever heard of a farm in the city? That's absurd." "Or is it? Maybe a farm could pay me rent after all." The next morning, Macdonald and his wife stepped outside carrying their suitcases, and there was Mr. Rental. There was a big sign that read, "Rental and Macdonald's Fruits and Vegetables, fresh milk and eggs hourly." Mr. Rental waved at Macdonald and shouted, "Where are you going, partner? You grow this stuff and I'll sell it. Vegetables will pay me rent, after all." On opening day, the store was jammed. Mr. Rental made a very long speech, and he asked everyone to come in and buy as much as they could. And Old Macdonald said, "People, I am happy to have such fine vegetables as tenants. I hope you agree that vegetables make good neighbors." The people applauded and bought as much as they could. Both the store and the farm thrived throughout the summer and fall. And even in the winter, when the earth outside was frozen and covered with snow, things were still growing on the steam-heated farm. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. We've got time for the pirate song that we haven't done in a while. Are you ready? Well, when I was 1, I sucked my thumb on the day I went to sea. I jumped aboard a pirate ship, and the captain said to me, "Oh, you'll go this way, that way, forwards, backwards, over the deep blue sea." When I was 2, I tied my shoe on the day I went to sea. I jumped aboard a pirate ship, and the captain said to me, "Oh, you'll go this way, that way, forwards, backwards, over the deep blue sea. When I was 3, I tapped my knee on the day I went to sea. I jumped aboard a pirate ship, and the captain said to me, "Oh, you'll go this way, that way, forwards, backwards, over the deep blue sea." All right, it's just about time for Knees Up, Mother Brown. Let me get situated here. Okay. Let's see if we can do this today. All right, let's give it a try here. There was a girl from France who didn't know how to dance. The only thing that she could do was knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, never let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown, and sit back down. There we go. Oh, Anansi tricked the elephant, who was not very observant. The only thing that he could do was knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, never let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown, and sit back down. There was a teeny tiny man, hello, who loved to do handstands. Well, oh, not today. The only other thing that he could do was knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, never let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Super fast. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, never let the breeze up. Knees up, Mother Brown. Wiggle, wiggle fingers right up to the sky. Wiggle, wiggle fingers and wave them all goodbye. I'll see you next time.